ready to give up on that? And as he began to confess Christ and begin to get rid of that, and I had to pray. See, one thing we got to stop sending the people on these wild goose chases, thinking that they're going to be delivered just because you said God is able to do it. You got to become an intercessor. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Come on, Pastor.
You got to begin to get in prayer. Once you've told somebody something, even us as preachers, once you've told somebody something, you don't just speak the word, but after you have spoken, you got to pray to an almighty God.
Yes.
That God was so merciful. Because a lot of times people can't reach God because they don't know who God is. So therefore you got to be an intercessor.
Yes, Lord.
And an intercessor stands in between and among. Is anybody home? So therefore the person that got the problem and the person that's able to solve the problem, we're intercessors. Y'all see what I'm saying? You got to stay in between. Yes. So therefore you got to stay in the will of God and you got to abide in the word of God so that what? Your access to God is not hindered. When we disobey God, when we sin against God, we lose access.
Come on, Pastor.
Sin causes us to lose access to God. And nobody's preaching against sin because they want to fill the pews.
Come on, Pastor.
The Bible said, let not sin therefore reign in your mortal bodies. Right. And he said, he that is born of God, meaning born again, does not commit sin because the seed, the word of God, remaineth in you. Y'all see what I'm saying? So if the word of God remain in you and you abide in it and it abide in you, it changes you to a point where you don't yield to those things you used to yield to. Without Christ, it's like a body without a head. Think about it. You without Christ is a body without a head. In your head is where you see. In your head is where you hear. In your head is where you're able to eat.
Understand.
And everything else. So without God, he is the head. Y'all see what I'm saying? The Bible talks about him being the head, the chief cornerstone.
Yes.
And if he being your head and you're not connected to him, you can't receive anything. What you eating ain't eating right. What you're hearing, you ain't hearing.
Come on.
You're moving by your flesh. Your flesh can only go by what it see and hear. But when you disconnected from God, you can't even hear. Amen. That's why he said, I'm the vine, and thou art the branches. I am the vine, and thou art the branches. And he said, the branches cannot bring forth fruit of themselves, except they abide in the vine.
Come on, Pastor.
So if you don't abide in the vine, after a while, if a branch does not abide in the vine, it'll die. It'll die. It'll wither away because it's not abiding in the vine. The vine is connected in the ground. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's in the ground. And when it rains, it gets water from the ground. A limb can only receive a certain amount of rain, but it just gets on it to wash it off, but it can't keep it living. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So therefore, us without God, we're getting rain, but it's just washing us off, but it's never causing us to live. Because when we get disconnected from God,
Amen,
we lose our access to being fed, to being healed, from being delivered, from being made whole, to make right decisions. We can't do it. Why? Because we've lost connection with God. And the world, as I speak and as I preach, have lost their connection with God. We connected with everything. We connected with people on Facebook.
Come on.
We connected with people on Instagram, but we done lost our connection with God. We don't pray no more. We don't study our Bibles no more. We don't seek the face of God anymore. My God, we barely go to church.
Amen. Amen.
Anymore. And the church has become a competition.
Come on, Pastor.
It's become a place where people dress up to look good on the outside, but on the inside they got hatred.
Yes.
On the inside they got malice.
Come on.
On the inside they got backbiting.
Come on.
You can't even stand the person right next to you. And the Bible says, how can you say you love the Lord whom you have not seen, and can't love your brother whom you see every day?
That's right.
It's time to return to God, people of God.
Amen.
That's my cry to you. And if you would heed this word, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And the enemy know that if we step outside of God, that we would step outside of the covering, that we would step outside of the benefit.